And good morning, Hoosier fans, and welcome to the final edition of Hoosier Morning After. This is Hoosier Morning After Rutgers. I'm your host, Chad Schwarzkopf. Here we go, guys. This is the last one of the season. Your Indiana Hoosiers go on to lose 2 days ago. Sorry for the delay of the show. 50-61. Losing 3 times to Rutgers this year. Just kind of really a game that was a microcosm of how this season kind of settled into and what kind of team this team was going to be this year. Very frustrating. Very aggravating. Again, this is a team that, if you remember the movie Billy Madison, when he kind of shakes the little kid when he's in, I believe, second grade or something, and says he really wants to grow up. Must be really cool to be an adult and grow up. And he shakes the little kid and is like, "Don't you say that. Don't you ever say that." I just want to shake this team, and give them some confidence, give them some excitement. This game really shows. I mean, it shows how good they can be in moments, playing freely, playing open, moving the ball, getting things going in the first half, getting up to 10-point lead at one point, looking good, looking like, all right, this team's motivated, they're fighting. Trace Jackson-Davis, the most engaged he's been in any of these Rutgers games. Going against Johnson, he's struggled going against big guys like him, physical guys like him, and he did a pretty good job against him. I mean, again, at one point, Indiana was up 21-10. Then we just kind of let Rutgers get hot a little bit from three, and it leads to just one of those terrible closeouts from Indiana. They had it. They were in there with just under 10 minutes left. IU was up by 1. Franklin hit a jumper, 48-47. And then we'd go on to only score in one more possession out of our final 15 possessions. And a lot of it was just missed open shots. A lot of it was missed free throws. Those final 2 points that Indiana got, because it was 48-47 at that point. And IU, with 10 minutes to go, and IU would only score 2 more points. And those 2 points come at the free throw line from Al Durham. That you're not going to win any ball game against anyone if you're up, just by 1, and then you're going to take almost a full half off scoring wise and only make free throws. I mean, it's amazing that it wasn't even more of a blowout, honestly. So it's frustrating because it's not like they were bad looks. And it's not like we didn't have a chance on the free throws even. Rob missed the front end of a 1-and-1. I think it's a microcosm of this team, and it's a fragile team mentally, we've seen, and a lot of other teams, you can see when things start to go wrong, it usually builds on them, and it takes quite a few minutes for confidence and one team to kind of swing it in their way and really demoralize another team and then get in their head and everything. But it seems to happen in a split second on this team when they get tight, they tense up, and I guess those open shots just don't fall like they should. The open looks, just you're a little bit more tense, you're not flowing and having a good time. That's one thing that I noticed even early, even when the game was reachable. You saw smiles, you saw them joking, There was obviously some trash talk and everything too from Rutgers. And Indiana looks stoic and tense. And that's been shoot, a long time. Go back in the Romeo days and you'll hear me talking about that as well. The team lacking emotion. And I think that was from kind of the leading down, because Juwan Morgan wasn't a very emotional person, and Langford wasn't really an emotional person too, so that kind of bled down. And I don't know, did that start a domino? And then some of the upperclassmen were underclassmen at that point, and that's where they've learned from. I don't know, but I don't see the emotion. I don't see when those things are going bad like that, the teammate barking at his teammates and trying to get him up, trying to get him going. When things are good, let's smile, let's have a good time. That was awesome. They do it a little bit, yeah, but I don't see this team playing with emotion. The kind of a positive emotion that kind of gives you that mojo, that slide. But yeah, again, this game is just that microcosm of how this year has gone, and how this team can show you that they can play well, they can make shots, and then they can have games like this and just not being able to string it together and close out games like they should. So the season overall, looking back at it, where I think this team could have been utilized a lot better. Let me see. This is what this team does to you. You become speechless, befuddled over my words. I love the players. I love these guys that they came and I believe they gave it their all. And I think where it lies with a team like this is just the roster construction was not there. And injuries hurt that roster construction big time. The simple added roster construction of having Joey Brunk throughout the year, having that extra big guy that can bang with a Johnson, that can bang around with other bigs and rest Trace Jackson, allow him to play a little bit of four. Could have been the change, could have been the difference in a couple things. I believe also Joey might have been smarter with his spacing. Grace and Jerome a few times. And this may go to Archie. This may be the play call. This may be what they've learned, but didn't give him enough space. Didn't give Trace Jackson Davis enough space to go to work down there. I believe Joey would have been a little bit more conscious of that. We also had, again, staying on roster construction, we had 2 open scholarships. And this is where I will argue with Archie that we should have gone out and tried to use those. Maybe he did, and he couldn't find any bites, but we should have tried a little bit harder to grab someone and get someone else in that roster. We got Stewart, that's great. Stewart, if he can get in there and when he can get in there, is going to be a difference maker. If he's able to come back and if he's plays like he has purportedly played at Pitt and other times, he can be a very positive note and a positive thing for this team. Armand Franklin gets healthy. Those two playing off each other. Just getting some bodies in there that can hit more of those open shots, those open looks that we're getting. So, where IU goes from here, I'm not going to pretend to have the answer. I weirdly sit right there in the fence, and I am jumping on both sides of the fence each day. And I can see both sides. I get both sides. So if they get rid of him, they've got to find the right fit. That's where I sit with that. If you are going to find a new coach, it has to be the right fit. It has to be, and just by that I mean getting the right person, getting a good person. All this stuff about Rick Pitino. No. I myself would prefer a younger guy, Archie-esque. Again, I like many of you, and you'd be lying if you said it, even amongst the guys that think that we should get rid of Archie, believe that at the moment he was a good pick. And I like that feel that he gave us, a younger guy that's on the up, that can settle in and build something great and just be our coach all the way through till he retires. Get a Mike Krzyzewski kind of thing. Come in young, coach for a long time. Roy Williams, that similar thing. I mean, Roy might have been a little bit older when he took over there, but anyways, something similar like that, where he can build and stay for a long time. I don't know enough about coaches that are out there to say who that is, and who they go along with. Again, pipe dream like everyone else. Brad Stevens would be freaking amazing. But I doubt that's happening. It's a lot easier and a lot less effort to coach in the NBA than it is to come down and deal with all the recruiting and all that other stuff that you deal with at the college level. So I'll leave it at that as far as the hiring new coach, get rid of him. So on the other side of the coin, if it goes the other way and he stays for one more year, I understand that completely and would be willing. And when I lean that way, here's why I feel that way. I feel that way because, one, we just gave our football coach, who's very deservedly needs it, a large raise. So funds got a hit there of money that we're going to have to spend. He also took care of his assistants as well, so there's money there as well that he gave to his assistants. It was a COVID year. It was a crazy year. So money in the program, again, I don't know their finances, but I can only speculate and imagine they're not the greatest. And IU has been lucky that it hasn't had to be like other universities had this year. With their troubles, they have had to get rid of sports. Shoot, I think I even saw Clemson was about to get sued because they got rid of track and field. And that's going to get them in trouble with Title IX and possible lawsuits coming out. So thankful for Scott Dolson that he's been able to keep all the programs together and all the teams are still playing. There's some great athletics going on right now. Women's basketball is doing fantastic. Soccer is always great. Baseball is just warming up right now. Volleyball's doing all right. It's building. And then we got football starting up. So there's great stuff if you're an IU fan. Does make it sting a little bit more that the basketball team can't be among those. But there's one reason I think he stays. And along those same money lines, right now it costs a little bit over $10 million to get rid of him this year. Next year, it goes down to $3 million. So there's reason one, money. Another reason that when I lean that way, that I at least feel slightly hopeful, is what I already kind of talked about there. Does Joey come back Joey play another year. I think that helps things out. Trace Jackson Davis, I think he's probably gone. It's just going to take an NBA team to see him as something they can invest in and build in him and develop him. He's not ready to go out there and play major minutes right now. If he goes to the NBA right now, he may be kind of jumping down, playing a little G League, maybe getting called up once in a while. But he would have to have a good starting year and develop a little bit more of his mid-range game. And maybe he has it. Again, maybe he has that. He just wasn't utilizing it this season. So, assuming he's gone. Positives to feel for the next year. Talked about Stewart coming in. A lot of those open shots that we saw that weren't falling, possibly he makes more of those. He showed in his time at Pitt that he can be a great off-the-ball player and shoots well. Get an off-season for Armaan Franklin to get healthy again. Get an off-season for Christian Lander to find his footing, to find a little bit more of his game. So look at the front court with maybe Rob growing and getting back to himself and playing like we hope he would. A senior Rob hopefully wakes up. Again, he's one of the main ones I want to shake. So either Lander or Rob Fennessy at the point guard. Then you've got Armaan at the 3. You've got Stewart at the 2. And then, yes, Joey maybe comes back. We've seen some decent things this year at moments. And again, I know I'm putting a lot of weight in the offseason, finding stuff, getting their rhythm. But he turned on his defensive production, talking about Jerome Hunter. He shows that he can get out there and make shots. So if we can get him to become a consistent, good stretch 4, that's a fantastic stretch 4. Way he can drive, he can shoot. And then you talk about underneath. So is that Joey? Is Joey coming back? Who knows? You got Logan Duncombe coming in. Again, that's a freshman. You can't lean too much on what freshmen are going to do coming in, but he's got the effort. He's got the hustle. So he can definitely come in and spell a few minutes, steal a few minutes here and there, and be a decent guy off the bench. But he's going to at least show that he's going to be a hustle guy. He's going to be, I feel he's one of those bulldogs. You know, if you watch this show, you know I love bulldog players, and I feel like he's going to be a bulldog. And then you talk about our freshmen that we have this year. And again, Jordan Geronimo has showed some flashes at the end of the season. He's hit a few threes. He's feeling more confident when he's in there. He's calling for the ball. So I look for a huge leap there as well. And then beyond that, the transfer portal is going to be a gold mine. It's a couple good, decent players that have come out of Indiana State right now, since they had their crazy, baffling coach firing that no one saw coming there. Maybe grab one of them. They had a decent big guy. So, again, I'm the forever hopeful maybe. But if Archie is back, I am not going to be one of those that causes a big uproar and a big ruckus. I may have to stay off Twitter for a little bit because, man, it's going to get toxic. But the silence that we're seeing right now, basically, I feel like we will know in a week. If something is happening there and IU is getting rid of a coach, then yeah, I feel like we will know within a week. So where I stand right now, as I'm doing the show, whether I think he should leave or shouldn't, is beyond. But my feeling is that he's got one more year. That's going to be tough for a lot of IU fans to swallow, I know, because it's been very much the narrative of get rid of him. But there were a lot of missed open shots that are right there for the right roster construction to put in the hoop. And yeah, that's on the coach. It's on the players. It's on everybody. Missed shots. So if IU had done that this year, it would be a very, very different tune that we were talking about. But here we are. It's compounded by a lot of things. Crazy year for you and I. Crazy year for the team. And it stings right now. It hurts right now. I even told my wife on Twitter, you've seen pictures of a March Madness floor going in at Assembly Hall. That hurts. That hurts, guys. I know. That hurts a lot. And I guess in the end, I feel confident in Scott Dolson. It's a very tough decision that he's going to have to make. He is a man that knows the program and knows where it wants to be and where it needs to be. And we will see what the decision is very soon, guys. And whatever happens, even if they get Pitino, that I really don't want to like, I'm still going to tune in. I'm still going to cheer. And I'm still going to love Indiana basketball. So thank you guys for tuning in to my shows this season. We'll see you back next year. We're going to find out a lot between now and then. Please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter at General Chadwick. There you'll find information about the show when I'm going live and maybe a few of my thoughts as things happen in this offseason. So look for my opinion there. Thank you again to Bob Thompson for producing the music you hear on this show. And thanks for tuning in and watching this show, guys. I appreciate it very much. It's been something I've just done out of fun and enjoyment for the sport and been a great hobby for me. So I appreciate you watching. Have a wonderful day, guys. Go Hoosiers.